All right, good evening. I call the regular meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. and announce that the board met in closed session and the following action was taken. Number one, the board took action in closed session to release a temporary employee. Number two, the board took action to approve an agreement for the resignation of a certificated employee. Item number four, the board took action and approved the following appointments. Robert Aikman, Vice Principal, .5 Franklin Elementary, .5 Fight Elementary, and Robin Fulgham, Vice Principal, Sunrise Elementary. I'd like to announce that today's meeting is being video recorded and will be available on the district's YouTube channel. Also, there are blue cards available at the table just outside the boardroom for anyone wishing to address the board. If you wish to address the board, please complete a card and hand it to a staff member at the table to my right. Please be sure to complete a card indicating whether the matter you wish to address is on the agenda or not. If the matter is on the agenda, we'll assume you wish to speak when it comes time to address that item on the agenda, and we will hold your card. And now we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight will be led by Chris Hoffman, the superintendent. Thank you, Chris.
Good job.
You don't get a keychain, though. All right, first item tonight is presentation 2017 FFA California State Judging Contest Finals, Sacramento County Fair, and California State Student Recognition. Kathy Hamilton will present, and Mr. Chet Madison, Ms. Beth Alviani will be representing the board.
Good evening. Are we on? Good evening? No, we're not on. Wow, I've never been first before. Mr. Mate, what buttons do I push to turn on the microphone? Oh, now it's on. Took a while. All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Board members, Superintendent Hoffman, President Forcina. I'm happy to be here tonight. And Ms. Avalos, I'm sorry. Happy to be here tonight. We have quite a bit of recognition to give to our FFA students tonight from all four of our campuses. We will be sharing with you students who have received awards from the state FFA finals, which were conducted late last spring, the county fair, which happened at the end of May, beginning of June, and then the state fair, which was in July. So with that, I'd like to first ask Jenna Swenson from Pleasant Grove High School to come forward and present her students.
Good evening, board members and guests. Thank you for recognizing the achievements of all the FFA students in the district. It is a pleasure to be here to announce from Pleasant Grove FFA. With us tonight, we have Cody Hughes and Jackie Serini, who was recently elected as sectional officer. They are part of the natural resource team and won 4th place at the Midwinter State FFA Finals contest. Emma Blair, Riley Waterman, and Tristan Bess were also part of this team, but they were unable to attend tonight because they're at college. The next set of students to be recognized are for the Sacramento County Fair and State Fair. Their achievements were Emily Martin. She was Reserve FFA Turkey Showmanship. We have Shasta Pitt, who won several awards with her cattle. Champion Angus Steer, Reserve Champion Angus Bull, Champion Amador Eldorado Sacramento Bred Steer. We then have Jack Nilsson, Champion FFA Novice Swine Showmanship, and then he went on to go to Advanced FFA Swine Showmanship, and he placed 5th. Wyatt Phillips won Reserve Champion FFA Novice Rabbit Showmanship. And then we have Katie Matsumoto, who at County Fair got Reserve Champion Goat Showmanship and then placed 5th place Large Animal Master Showmanship. At State Fair, she won 5th place for Market Goat Showmanship. Thank you again to all the students. Congratulations, and thank you board members for recognizing our students.
And now if I could have Abby Flaherty come up while we're getting pictures taken, and we'll hear from Sheldon next.
President Fortuna, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to recognize our students from Sacramento Sheldon FFA and the success that they had last year. Before we do that, though, I'd like to introduce our new teacher, Sarah McMaster. She's with Ag Science with us this year, and we're so excited to have her.
How are you?
The first group of students that we're going to bring received first place in the agri-science contest at the California State FFA Finals. They spent their freshman year performing science experiments and documenting their results. They wrote research papers, lab books, and a display board. Isha Malvik and Natalie Chavez competed in the novice animal science systems, doing a research project with their goat on a feed trial. Jillian Makovich and Manveer Carr competed in the novice team plant systems, evaluating plant growth with different fertilizing supplements. The second group of students competed successfully at the Sacramento County Fair. They spent countless hours competing with their animals and preparing them for the fair. Toby Williams raised the FFA Reserve Grand Champion turkey. Jessica Chinka raised the Reserve Overall Supreme Champion chicken meat pen. Jackson Hatley raised the FFA Reserve Grand Champion Chicken Meat Pen. Kara McAnally raised the 3rd place Rabbit Meat Pen. And Austin Tang raised the 3rd place FFA Single Fryer Rabbit. Last but not least was the 2017 California State Fair winners. These students spent numerous hours over the summer caring and raising these animals. Jackson Hatley received Supreme Grand Champion Meat Pen. He's already on that side. Kara McAnally raised the Reserve Grand Champion Single Fryer Rabbit. She's over there as well. And Belle Batello raised the Reserve Grand Champion Chicken Meat Pen. Thank you very much.
Mike Albiani, are you ready to come up and tell us about the Elk Grove winners?
Yeah, parents, you can take pictures if you want to come up, if that's easier. Thank you.
I thought it was empty. Yes. President Forcina, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Hoffman. I would like to begin by thanking all of the CTE staff for putting together the certificates and invitations for all of our students. This spring and summer, the Elk Grove FFA and Agriculture Department has been very fortunate to work with an outstanding set of students participating in leadership development, CDE competitions, livestock shows, and indoor exhibits. I will summarize our students' achievements for you in order to save some time. The State FFA Leadership Conference was held in Fresno, California, and featured a number of science fair, SAE, and leadership competitions. Elk Grove FFA came away from this activity with 8 state champion agri-science projects, of which 6 have qualified for national competition. We were also fortunate to have our scrapbook selected as the state champion, and the highlight of the conference was our chapter being selected as National Chapter Award Program of the Year. 2 weeks later, our CDE teams headed to San Luis Obispo for the state FFA judging finals. The Farm Business Management team was awarded the state championship and qualified to represent California at the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis this fall. Agricultural sales and agricultural issues both placed third, and the Green Hen Quiz team, agronomy team, food science team each placed fifth in tough competition. Shortly after graduation, 178 members of the Elk Grove chapter exhibited their project at the Sacramento County Fair. Some of the highlights included champions in the beef, sheep, hog, and rabbit market shows, as well as champions in the swine, pygmy goat, horse, rabbit, and poultry breeding shows. In the showmanship division, our students were winners in advanced beef, pygmy goats, horses, and rabbits. Ava Solano Lim was then selected as the small animal master showmanship winner. The California State Fair began with the small animal market show about 5 weeks later, where Elk Grove FFA earned reserve champion eggs and had several award-winning turkeys. In the champion challenge, J.C. Mitchell was the poultry finalist, and in the small animal show, Ava Solano Lim had numerous champions, won master showmanship, and was selected as the FFA Outstanding Rabbit Exhibitor. The State Fair Food Preservation Division was dominated by Elk Grove FFA entries. 23 Elk Grove students had at least one first place with their jams, jellies, salsas, and sauces. Students won the best of class this kind of a salsa, sauce, and soft spread. Oh my goodness. Stephanie Boyd was chosen as the youth sweepstakes winner for her multiple entries and her best of show jam. In closing, I would like to thank the district for their support of our FFA students, but also for the summer support that gives the teachers time to work with these students like those I'm about to introduce. I'd like to introduce the teachers that are with me tonight. We have Shannon Welch, Courtney Bamer, and Colleen Lawson. And then I would like to introduce, not all of the 59 students are here tonight, but many of them are off to college because a lot of the students that are in these competitions, are seniors. So I'll run through the list for you, and they already have their certificates, so this should go easy, I hope. Kylie Appleman, Taylor Appleman, Sarah Armstrong, Danny Aristegui, Shelby Barnes, Stephanie Boyd, Megan Boyle, Jada Burns, Althea Carter, Aranza Chavez, Carly Clement, Jenna Conley, Sarah Cueva, Sydney De Silva, Kaya Diaz, Miriam Diaz, Emily Dixon, McKenna Feaster, Georgia Fedler, Jacob Gilbert, Hunter Hall, Tristan Hibbs, Prentice Hitt, Savannah Hunter, Carly Huss, Taylor Hutchinson, Cole Ibbotson, Kelsey Johnson, Ashley Johnson, Kate Jordan, Michelle Kelman, Delaney Kingston, Paige Linder, Darren Lowry, Mackenzie March, Megan Mellis, J.C. Mitchell, Stephen Peak, Alana Peer, Emma Phillips, Hannah Potter, Jenna Quanstrom, Zach Reinwald, Gavin Reinwald, Mason Sanfilippo, Logan Sanfilippo, Emily Sarantopoulos, Delaney Sarantopoulos, Casey Schmidt, Isabel Selling, Sarah Sigmund, Logan Sigmund, Ava Solano Lim, Jack Spithorse, Trenton Taylor, Jordan Towns, Elizabeth Vathier, Molly Wollstonecroft, and Camilla Yelan. In front of you, hopefully you have a gift from the Summer Food Preservation students. I hope you enjoy it. If someone else has your favorite, you can trade. We won't be offended. Thank you very much.
Parents, you can come up for pictures.
Well, Elk Grove is taking pictures. I need to ask if there is any representative here from Florin High tonight. We do have one student from Florin, Sajib Javed, who was a Sacramento County Reserve Grand Champion for turkeys. So I just want to make sure that he is recognized tonight as well.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
All right, thank you again, students and teachers and parents. Congratulations. A third? Oh, yeah, you want to jam? I have a bunch of jams. We got some other kids, so, yeah. All right, thank you. Moving on, we have no resolutions tonight. We have no student expulsion recommendations, and we will move on to public comment. First one will be James Menard. Yeah. We're going to have Mark meet with him afterwards.
Thank you, President of the Board, Board members. Again, my name is Sergeant First Class James Menard. Tonight I'm here to speak on behalf of the United States Army and Elk Grove Recruiting on the Armed Service Vocation Aptitude Battery, or the ASVAB, and the exploration that the ASVAB has on students to help educate them on their goals and passions. Some of the things the ASVAB does is it gives students an opportunity to see what they're good at, see what or how their mind focuses on different topics that they are given on this program. The ASVAB is given to all juniors, seniors, and anyone joining the armed services. So the opportunity for the students to, again, find out some of their goals and passions is there simply by taking a free test. It is given to, again, throughout the entire school here across the nation, and again, it's given to students in our community. We're trying to explore the ideas of more individuals taking the ASVAB and seeing what more their goals and passions are. It also helps with college. It gives an idea of what students may be interested in while taking college or serving in greater education services. And another thing we have is March to Success. It's a free web-based program that offers students an opportunity to score higher on their SATs and their ACTs. Again, it is free. We sign students up every day. It helps them with the ASVAB, as one individual scored from a 13 on the practice test to a 53 on the actual ASVAB, putting them in a higher category to find better opportunities and a better range of job. And again, through March to Success, it is free, and it does help with all testing with SATs, ACTs, and of course the ASVAB. Today I brought with me the education supervisor for the Sacramento Recruiting. Her name is Dr. Ochama. She has her doctorate in education, and she's also a reserve colonel. I'd like to introduce Dr. Ochama if there's not any questions from the board.
Yeah, we can't engage during open comment, so
Thank you.
thank you. Dr. Chillum? Yeah, I had two separate. I made them three.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Dr. Tanja Ochama, and I work for the U.S. Army Recruiting Command as an Education Services Specialist. On your desk, I passed out some pamphlets, a high school program guide, and I'm here today to talk about military opportunities. I was one of those young people that had no idea what I wanted to do in life. I did not have money to go to college, and I didn't have any goals. So when I was in high school, I took the ASVAB, and we focused on the career exploration part of it. And the career exploration part of it gives you an idea of what it is you really, really want to do in life. So it's on page 25 in the high school program guide. So from that, I determined that I really wanted to be a social worker. So as time went on, I went off to college. The military paid for my undergraduate degree in social work. I was in the ROTC program. I got my master's while I was in the military and my PhD. And through that time, I got promoted to lieutenant colonel after going through all the steps. So I'm here today just to briefly share my story, but more importantly, promote military opportunities to your students, not necessarily to get them to join and sign up, but we have a lot of programs that are totally free. The ASVAB, March to Success, which is a program that helps students improve their standardized test scores. As we know, many students struggle taking tests, and in the world of work today, you have to have a test for something. Even if it's you want to be a typist, you have to, how many words can you type a minute? So we have that opportunity in those programs that are absolutely free. This is the Army's gift to America's youth. Also, one of the programs I really like to promote is the Army Educator Tour. I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to attend one, but it shows you what the making of a soldier is, or the making of a leader. And we've had many, many, many state directors from Department of Education, to include the superintendent of public instruction about 7 years ago, go on an educator tour. And he was just amazed at how you take a young person from Elk Grove and put them in charge of $1 billion of equipment. So they leave Elk Grove Unified School District as just an ordinary individual, and we make leaders out of them every single day. So it's important that you share those opportunities with your students. Like I said, not as we want you to join, we want you to sign up, but take advantage of our opportunities. I did it. I started out only wanting to do a couple of years, and it's been 22 years now. So please promote those opportunities to your students. They're available. Please look in the high school program guides. You have my business cards. If you're interested in an Army Educator Tour, the next tour is going to Fort Carson, Colorado, to the Mission Space Command. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Google that when you get an opportunity. It's an amazing experience. Any questions?
Again, we're not at liberty to ask questions at this, on this agenda item.
Okay.
But Mr. Mark Cerruti, who's our deputy superintendent, will be making contact with you and Mr. James.
Very good. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Okay, Mr. Andrew Scott.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, madams. My name is Andrew Scott. I'm a U.S. Navy retired veteran. I served 10 years. I was a medic in the U.S. Navy, and now I'm 100% disabled through the VA. I'm only taking advantage of this time right now because my daughter was getting an award today. So she got an award, so I'm happy for her that she got her award. I'd like to take a chance to talk about bullying. I see the sign that you have up. The school is a safe zone. Bullying, harassment, slurs will not be tolerated. I think that's beautiful, but in reality, that's not happening. I had a situation where my son is a special needs student. He goes to he used to go to Fight Elementary School. There was a principal named Miss Chin there. My son was bullied by a student. My son was in the 3rd grade, and the other student was in the 4th grade. My son went into the bathroom, and the other student grabbed my son, choked him around, and threw him on the ground. To make a long story short, when the principal finally called me and told me what happened, my son was just scared because he's special needs. The punishment that the other student got was 1 recess taken away. So I just bit the bullet and I dealt with it because I had PTSD myself. So I figured, okay, no problem. Let's just let this one slide. For the past 3 weeks, my son was continuously bullied by 4 other students in the same class on a daily basis. And the principal, Ms. Chin, did nothing. I called the school director. I talked to the director. The director did nothing. They blew me off. I told him, look, I'm a disabled veteran. I have problems. If I didn't have PTSD, maybe I'd be able to explain myself better, but this is not good. I wrote a letter to Miss Alan Singh. I emailed her my whole story. It's not your fault. I'm not here to snitch on you. Please don't mind. 4 weeks later, I get a email from Miss Singh saying, I'm sorry, this was in my spam folder. Has this situation been handled? Unfortunately, it hasn't been handled, ma'am. So what happened was the dean forcefully moved my son out of the school district that we were going to a worse part of town where my child is very much happier. Because the principal was Miss Ruda, Miss Elizabeth Ruda. She's a great principal, and I have trust in her. So now my son's going to a school that's away from my house in a different district, and he's happy there because and he got bullied there too because it's a school. I've been through the American school system, but I believe in justice and I believe in that kids need to be protected, and they are not being protected at Fight Elementary School. 10 other parents have talked to me about their kids being bullied and the principal doing nothing, absolutely nothing about the situation. It's very serious because kids commit suicides, as you know. I have PTSD too. I have my problems. I'm having an anxiety attack right now. I feel as I'm talking to you. Because I've seen war. I've killed people. I've helped people. But I'm telling you, it's very serious. I'm not up here to snitch on anybody. I'm just saying that bullying is very serious and it's very dangerous to young minds. And it could make an innocent mind into a corrupted mind. I beg you guys to do something about Miss Chin, do something about Fight Elementary School. Try to get me back in my school district. So I bought a house in that district.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I have to call you for time, but thank you for your comment.
Okay,
Thank you for
your
service.
comments are noted, and Ms. Donna Cherry, she is Associate Superintendent for Elementary Education, is going to speak with you right now outside. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there are no other blue cards, and so we'll move to the consent agenda, and Ms. Chairus Espinoza.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of consent agenda items 1 through 16.
We have a motion for approval, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, and that will pass. Okay, LCAP update, none tonight. Budget update, none tonight. Facilities update, surprisingly, none tonight. Bargaining units, we have one. You have any comments you'd like to make?
So noted.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right, then we have public hearing action item. We have Education Code Section 17556. Consideration of resolution to convey an easement for pedestrian purposes to the city of Elk Grove at the Mary Mix Elementary School. Mr. Pierce.
Thank you, President Fortuna, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos. This is a follow-up item to your July 25th resolution, which was the intention to convey an easement. As I explained to you, this is probably the world's smallest easement. It's 90 square feet, and it's a jog around on the sidewalk to avoid a SMUD vault cover. Tonight's action would convey the easement accordingly, and I would ask that you open and close a public hearing. It must be approved by at least 2/3 of the board in order for it to take effect, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. All right, I call for a public hearing to receive comments on the granting of easements at Mary Mix Elementary School. Hearing none, I close the public hearing. I call for a motion to adopt resolution number 5, conveying an easement for pedestrian walkway to the city of Elk Grove at the Mary Mix Elementary School.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Perez, second by Ms. St. Allen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passes. Thank you. Okay, next one.
That is, oh, did we,
It's not your turn yet. Okay, textbook, pupil textbook and instructional materials, Geraldine Ewing.
Good evening, President Fortuna, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. As a requirement of the Williams legislation and Education Code 60119, the Board of Education shall hold a public hearing during the first 8 weeks of instruction and make a determination through a resolution as to whether each student in each school has sufficient textbooks and instructional materials in all core areas. These include English language arts, mathematics, history, social science, and science, and that they are aligned with the content standards and consistent with the curriculum framework cycles. The Education Code also requires a written determination that every student enrolled in world languages and health also has sufficient textbooks or instructional materials, and that students enrolled in lab science classes have sufficient laboratory science equipment. This resolution certifies that each student in the Elk Grove Unified School District has textbooks and instructional materials consistent with these guidelines. I would now like to ask the board to open a public hearing and I will bring this resolution back to the next board meeting on September 5th as an action item.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Then I call for public hearing for anyone wishing to speak to the pupil textbook and instructional materials item. Hearing none, I close the public hearing and announce this item will be brought back for approval at the regular board meeting scheduled for September 5th, 2017. Thank you.
So,
Okay, there are no discussion items. No discussion action items. Our favorite orator wants to come back. We have action items. Elk Grove Unified School District Community Facilities District 2017-2018 tax report and second reading of ordinance number 1, 2017-2018.
Thank you again, President Fortuna. The item before you would behoove you to act not as the trustee of the Elk Grove Unified School District, but the trustee of the Elk Grove Unified School District Community Facilities District number 1. This is an annual item. It is the only ordinance you adopt each year. You will be approving the tax report that is before you tonight and directing staff to deliver that tax report to the Sacramento County Auditor's Office. I can tell you that the tax report before you tonight is an increase of approximately 1% of overall tax revenue in the Community Facility District. That's a welcome thing. In the past, given the Great Recession, you actually had some down years where tax revenue was declining. Thankfully, we're not in that position. This is a continuance of the same taxes that have been in place since 1998 to serve the Community Facility District. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have with regard to the tax report, but I would ask that you approve the resolution that's before you.
All right. Beth, you have any questions? Chet? Nancy?
No.
Bobby?
Sure.
I have a suggestion or possible, can you do like a trend?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
to the visual like that, and also, that 1.4% change, what does, and also another column, what does, money dollars, how much does that represent?
So I think, Mr. Perez, you're referring to the summary of the tax report.
Percentage change, and what actual does 1.4?
So what that represents is we do have a historical, the tax levy that was in place for the 2016-17 tax year. The report that's before you would be establishing your tax report for the 17-18 year.
Right.
And so based on the county assessor's office, your overall tax revenue is increasing by 1.4% overall. So there's a number of conditions for that. It's usually as a result of new lots being approved. It could be by the City of Elk Grove, City of Sacramento, County of Sacramento, or the City of Rancho Cordova. So it's improvements to, say, raw development land that has received a tentative or a final map. And when that occurs, every single one of those lots gets a $200 a year tax increase on the property. So that's typically the result. It's not that hard and fast. You can see below where it says total dwelling units. Your tax report defines dwelling units based on the year that the project or the lot was approved by the local jurisdiction. So, for instance, if your home or the lot that your home was built on was approved prior to January 26, 1987, your tax is just over $45 a year. If it's between that period and June 30th of 1998, your tax is just below $118 a year, and it escalates to that maximum of $200 for any home that was approved after 1998. So it varies within that. If maps sit idle, in other words, they don't go to final map and or aren't built, after 5 years of going idle, your tax is reduced to 40% of the max tax. If it sits idle for another 3 years, it actually goes to the original approval prior to that action. So there's a lot of variances within there. The tax report's pretty complex when you get into the intricacies of it, but this is just a summary. So we'd be happy to add additional tax years if that would help the board see the overall trend or a chart. Sure.
You've done some, I think, before. So
Yep, we have done that. I'd be pleased to do that.
All right, thank you. I call for a motion to approve the 2017-2018 EGUSD Community Facilities District Tax Report add an ordinance number 1? Moved by Mr. Madison, second by Ms. Albiani. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. It's approved. Thank you. All right, board member and superintendent reports.
No.
No. Mr. Hoffman.
Yes, I did have one announcement. I did want to recognize the passing of a former board member, Olga Beatty. She served the district from 1963 to 1967, and as I've come to know, she was the first woman member of the board, and she was very proud of that fact and let you know it when you were introduced to her. So we just want to make sure we noted her passing and let her family know that we were thinking about them. So.
Thank you. Okay, as we declare the meeting tonight, then, we will declare the meeting in memory of Ms. Olga Beatty, and we will see you at the next meeting. Thank you.
I had, go ahead. I wanted to make one comment on the future. I had talked with the superintendent about the new synergy report, and that if possible, that as one board member, I would like to review the whole process of that at the tech center. And if Mr. Mate could set it up, that we can come by and have somebody to go through it. The reason why I say that is that when we created SysWeb, all the board members had an opportunity to review that report, and it was quite fascinating. And not to take time out on a general meeting, but to have some hands-on, and you can understand what our people report on. So I just wanted to bring that.
I was actually going to ask for the same thing. Maybe if we get a temporary login just to test drive it, I could do it from home as well.
Yeah, I don't know, we couldn't do it from home. We went down to the tech center and did it because of some confidentiality in it.
All right, Chris, you'll get back to us on.
Yeah, I'd actually spoken to Mr. Mate about it already, and we'll probably set up a couple of dates. That way, trying to get everybody on any one date's kind of a challenge, but we'll get that figured out for you.
Great, thank you, Chet.
I signed up today and have on my phone. It looks great.
Very
So
good.
my 2 cents from the mom view.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.